just setting up the stream and stuff, and then we'll just go through where I'm at the moment. Cool, we're online. Nice. Hey, all who are tuning in live and anyone who's watching after the fact, is another installment in our virtual production streams where we just show off what we've been working on in the week to add to this virtual production shared project. Shared project aimed at just making a really nice, easy Unreal Engine project for people to download, share and use for any creative pursuits, profit or otherwise. It's all open to be used. I've been making this switcher system. Hey Alejandro, thanks for tuning in on the Discord. This is being streamed out to YouTube as well, but yeah, feel free to jump in with any questions in the chat, or after. I'm just going to run through what I've been through with this switcher and then open up to general chat after. So yeah, thanks for tuning in, and just thought I'd update you on this stuff. So I've been doing. So I wanted to make this TV switcher. Let me just show you like a run through to start with. Best to just show it off to begin with. So I'm trying to mimic a kind of classic TV studio, like broadcast switcher. So I've changed the layout. The first layout that I did last week was just totally random. So this new layout is a bit more close to a actual kind of TV switcher, and the idea with this is just to really nicely kind of handle inputs and outputs and preview camera changes before the final kind of the final output goes out. You know, that way you can kind of feel safe showing things up before it goes out. So I might show you this video that I found, because I don't actually have like TV studio experience other than checking out a couple of studios or talking to people that are in it, are in the industry. But so I thought I'd kind of research what the actual buttons do on TV switchers and then just copy that as close as possible while doing a bit of a switch up, because it is kind of in Unreal Engine at the same time. It means we can do more potentially than like a kind of Atom switcher board could do, because we can obviously move in 3D space in real time and stuff like that. So there's going to be a level of camera change and stuff going on as well. But at first I just thought I'd mimic the general kind of program and preview system. So these kind of switches tend to have these two kind of it's like a bus, and they this is me very recently learning this stuff, but like each lane up here is like a bus, and it's carrying the preview or the program. And essentially like the program is actually what you would see if you press program here. So this is program camera 1. I can program camera 2, I can play it, and I can program camera 3 and 4. And these are all just set off preset positions that I'd set in the editor. So, you know, you can queue this up and program it and check that it's doing the right thing. It's all, you know, doing what you want. And then, so that's safe. We know we want to switch to that for the main output. So we can press preview for that. And that will, this preview is actually a preview of your actual broadcast output. Oh, just been told the sound's too low. No worries. I'll just turn that up on here. Yeah, let me know if that's better. Cheers for the heads up on that. Let me know if that's better now. Yeah. Cool. So yeah, essentially this is mimicking like a classic TV switcher. You can, you know, decide which camera you want to preview before actually sending it out to the final output. And essentially, what I was doing here, I guess also it's worth noting we got this FPS counter down here just so I can monitor that all the time, because we are rendering 4 different render targets here, so that's why each of these can be paused individually. So you can see we're back up to like 80 odd FPS. I've got this viewport rendering switch as well, so that's actually flipped there, and you can also make that wireframe, because this is actually a HUD over the viewport, so we could like show and hide this and make live changes and edits and stuff, but then we can also hide that viewport. I might eventually just make it so that this viewport actually goes out just via spout or something, so we could either see it in an editor utility widget in another window, or we could just not have it behind this whole HUD, or I might make it so you can show and hide this HUD. But yeah, essentially you just got this kind of TV switcher set up, and I guess I could just show you some of the research behind it, because as I say, I was like I've not got loads of experience. Like I'm not a trained TV switcher person, operator. So I've just been like watching a couple YouTube videos really, and just trying to lift the actual layouts as much as possible, because I think it could be really useful to have a switcher like this, not only for like
production switchers,
not only for broadcasts and stuff, but could be quite good just for experimental bits.
that make them so instrumental.
So I was just watching this really cheesy video basically to get the research down for, you know, what a switcher actually consists of, and, you know, without going into this too deep, I was essentially lifting this kind of stuff here.
One for each source. Pressing the button for a specific source will tell the switch to pass that video input to that video output. You've actually more than likely have used a simple video switch without even realizing it. Whenever you've changed the input of your TV at home, you've been activating an internal switch inside.
I know this video is super cheesy, but oh, hold on, someone's saying they're muted. Sound alright for most people in Discord, is it? I can see my green thing flashing up, so I'm assuming it's alright. Cool.
Your television one additional output.
Yeah, this is really useful basically just because it's like he actually starts operating this actual kind of switcher, and from this you can see you've just got this one list. So this program section here, this is where it's just got, these are all the preview cameras, and then one will show up on the screen when he presses it, and then these are all the actual live cameras that are being broadcast out. And you know, you're supposed to like press that, make sure it's all right, and then press the next one. This is like a slider for a fader between, so you can do like a transition, like it says here, like dissolve, wipe. Don't know what those two are, but so you know, transition, smooth kind of transition between the two would be really cool, which I'll have to figure out because it kind of doesn't quite fit with the system we got at the moment. And then these are stingers, so which will be easier to achieve, but yeah, stinger is essentially like you get a graphic that comes over the front of the screen, and then, you know, at the point where the graphic is fully covering the screen, the shot will change. So that wouldn't be a too hard one to put in. But yeah, the kind of blend between the two cameras is quite an interesting one. Yeah, it's also, I think it was this row here is also like overlays like this, which would be pretty easy to work in. But yeah, I could dive in a little further into how this works. It's actually kind of weird, like draft Yeah, I'm up for chatting through it. A little detail, yeah. It's kind of, you know, you can go watch that video if you want to watch that video, but I'm gonna add my own thing. Stinger text could be in a 3D space as well. Yeah, I think that is definitely a really cool thing about doing this in Unreal. We could have like an actual particle effect, you know, an actual 3D particle effect cover the camera or something. I mean, particles might be difficult because the camera's actually going to move, but yeah, the text or the transition kind of stuff could totally be in 3D space, which is really cool. Another thing that I was really monitoring is just the FPS throughout the whole thing, because yeah, there are just so many render targets flying around at the same time, so I'm just making sure I'm being careful of that. But yeah, the viewport rendering is a biggie, you know. You can even just set it to wireframe and you actually gain quite a lot of frames per second, and you can still kind of move around. But yeah, shall we look under the hood a bit if I show you that process, or you know, can chat any questions or any possible additions. I know Tom, we were talking about adding animation, which would be really cool. But I've just been going through so many different layouts of all of this and whether to have it as an editor widget or a begin play widget, and just repurposing around that has taken so much time in itself. But triggering animations would be an awesome one as well. Is this without DLSS? I'm pretty sure this doesn't have DLSS enabled. My screen percentage is 100, and the render targets here. Yeah, we don't have DLSS per camera, do we? I think it's just in our CG element and composure that we have the DLSS slider per camera. Pretty sure. Maybe like rendering options or something. So like there's actually no DLSS going on at the moment as far as I know. The FPS data just shows the actual FPS counter, so it's just so I've taken this HUD so the way I've done the FPS, I literally just copied a tutorial to do this, but it's taking so here. Oh yeah, on event tick in this graph, it's just printing a number per second, really, I think it is. Don't know what truncate does, but it's taking event tick, so I guess I think this is a good measure of the frames per second. And yeah, this is as I say, not really using DLSS, so yeah. Yeah, DLSS is really cool, worth looking into. In 5.3 projects or 5.2 projects, or if you've got DLSS 3 enabled, you can just pull down your screen percentage to like say 65, and then maybe I don't have DLSS enabled, but instead of actually going lower res, DLSS will it's basically a fancy AI upsampling technique. So you can actually render everything at a lower resolution, and then the DLSS will upscale that same image in real time. So it's actually a lower quality image, but its perceived quality is still as high. So it's like it's an awesome one for saving frames per second. I kind of think it's a bit of it could be really cool if used properly, but it's for people like me, for example, who are just kind of experimenting. It could be kind of, you don't want to rely on it. You want to learn how to actually optimize stuff properly without DLSS, I think. You know, it's kind of like hitting the problem with a hammer instead of actually like finding the reasons that you might be running at a lower FPS. But It's mostly used as like an in-game feature. You can as part of your as part of your settings in your game, you know, you could say set DLSS to you know, X. And then that means, you know, on your system with your GPU and everything, then you can get some more frames out of the game as it stands, you know, because the game's finished and you can't actually change what you're going to do. Yeah, so another thing that's kind of cool, or I could just show off pretty quickly, is so this main camera is basically just taking the location of each of these shots, and that's how we're getting this output preview. There's something that's setting this to be low res at the moment, but I'm sure I can change that eventually. But essentially, instead of actually taking the viewport, the actual final image of this broadcast would actually be this render target here. So this can be sent out to Spout or something, or streamed out, you know. But what you can also do is just set this render target as another window in Unreal, and you can do that with the editor utility widgets. So this way you could preview in Unreal what would be broadcast out even before it is, you know, without opening another program or something. So if you go editor utility widget, and we could call this like UI output, and you can just go like image and set that to your screen size and anchor it anywhere at the top, I guess. And then you just set this brush to be this output preview, and that's the render target I set in the camera. Find it here, capture component, output preview. Just with that selected, go back to the UI and just plop that in there. So now we've got like a full screen preview. I might actually give it a bit of padding. Let's put a border around it. So border had an A in it. Weird. What's going on here? Here we go. And then bit of padding. I'm gonna set this to like dark gray. Cool, and then you can just run this. That is your full screen preview of what's going on in your screen. So for me, I'd pop that in my second screen. So that's now open in my second screen. And then when you begin play, so I've set this to be this preview now. And then in my little extra window, I can actually full screen preview what's going on, you know, what's being sent out. So, you know, as I change that, it changes in the extra little Unreal window. So that's just a pretty cool use of these like editor utility widgets, because it just means you can run your game, but you can also have a second Unreal window. Don't think that would work in a packaged game, because I don't think you can access the editor utility widgets in a packaged game, but it's useful if you're running in editor and you want to preview, you know, what your output looks like full screen. So I've got that there, yeah. So I guess I'll just dive into this blueprint a little bit and talk you through it, and then just tweak it really for the next like 40 minutes. Just see if we can add some cool stuff. But do let me know if you got any questions or any talking points. Super happy to chat anything virtual production really. So I want to figure out why this render target is always set to be this low res. I don't think I can change it from here. Yeah, that's weird. It's like being set here. But yeah, I'll just show you what's under the hood of this one. So this is like the widget design for this. It's a lot of boxes within boxes. Kind of start everything with a canvas panel and then go into a border so I can give it a bit of padding. And then usually vertical box comes next. So that's just this row, this row, this row. And there's a horizontal box inside that vertical box, which I've named top row displays, just so I can find it easier. Probably pull that down, but that just consists of another vertical box, which has just got my image, and then this button to pause and play the image. If we go into this image, this has got the output preview render target as its brush, so as its image. So that's the main image that's coming from the one main Cinecam. And that main Cinecam is basically just going to jump around the level to whatever point we tell it to and just do the final, take on all the camera settings of whatever camera it's jumping to, and then set that as the main output. So, in your TV studio or your live broadcast, this is always the main thing that's going out. So I've got some functionality with this. This is what I've been working on this afternoon. Is the kind of pause and play for these output previews. So I've got on-clicked preview 1, on-clicked program 1. That's these buttons. So the kind of bus for each channel. So on-clicked preview 1, it's gonna go. Let's show this one first. So yeah, on-clicked program 1 is gonna update this brush here. So I've used brushes to change this. The brush is this whole drop down, so it's all of these settings, and you can make a variable like a struct called brush. So when you press program 1, it's actually quite simple. It just changes that brush to whatever you want it to be. So render target cam 1 for cam 2, render target cam 2, cam 3, render target cam 3. And that's just changing this one image to either cam 1, cam 2, cam 3, or cam 4. Oh, had a crash. So that's kind of simple, but it's really cool. It shows you can take render target images in a HUD, and you can just set them to whatever you want to set them to. So that's useful when you combine render targets with HUD and with switching images. That can be really, really cool. Probably getting crashes because I'm just rendering so many render targets. Try to turn that off. Which is obviously something we don't want in broadcast, so something to look out for. But yeah, it's quite simple with that switch, but with the output switch, so yeah, this is just that switch with changing the brush, and that's quite a good way to just change a render target image to whatever you want to change it to. You can just set that render target here. But then for the preview, because I want this to be a render target that goes out to either a broadcast or a stream or out to another program. Hey Chipko, always good to see you. yeah, because we this needs so many diagrams to explain because it's like second week into developing this as well. So sorry if any of this is all over the place and unclear, but you know, just try and go through it slowly. So because we got this one Cinecam output, and that is just jumping to all of these camera positions. And this main Cinecam output frees us up to change these Cinecams while the main broadcast, which is our Cinecam output, main broadcast is unaffected. So there's kind of a safety buffer where just this one render target is going to be what the viewers see. So you know that adds another element of control, but it made it a little bit more complicated when I was jumping into the blueprint because I couldn't just do that set brush as render target because I want the output render target to actually stay the same the whole time. So, you know, here I can't do change brush because it's always going to be output preview. So instead of change brush, I've got this custom event, which comes from another blueprint over here. And this is my kind of in-game kind of switcher blueprint. So it actually exists in the level. It's got all my array of Cinecams, and it just does stuff with those Cinecams, basically. So if I press the preview 1 button, it's going to call this blueprint, and it's going to take my owl capture camera from this list, so this one, which is the output camera, and it's just going to take all the information from camera 1, like the location that it's at, and also all the focus and lens settings, and it's just going to give those settings to the owl Cinecam, so to the final output. And it's also going to make sure that render target is not paused. So because when you have it paused in the preview, you don't want to finally play a paused image. So just make sure that was unpaused. I'm just doing that exact same thing for each of the cameras. So it's a little bit verbose, but it's doing the job so far. I'm sure as it gets more complex, this will need to be reworked in some way, maybe. But it works for this draft, so I'm just getting it to a place where it can be. So what all that is doing is just like this camera that I've got with this cube above it. When I press that that preview button, this camera is just going to jump to there. I wonder if I can show you. So we can see that cube. So this cube should kind of disappear when I press this, or it's just moved to the next location. So, you know, all I'm doing is moving that cube around, I'm moving the camera, and that's just through that kind of complex network of having that in-game blueprint that references the HUD button being pressed and then calls the event of moving the camera. So yeah, no, this project, this actual commit, because I'm still working on it, this branch hasn't been published yet, but since you're interested, I will look at publishing that branch. That's, yeah, I obviously don't mind sharing work in progress. That's like what this is all about. So I'll publish this branch for you for sure. Glad you're into it. Could even just do that now, to be fair. So I guess I'll just finish off this commit as like switcher updates. Output cam. So this should be pushed, and it should be a branch on the GitHub after this. Cool. So yeah, this is public now. Yeah, you can take that at the stage it was. No worries. I'll chuck this link in the chat. Yeah, it'd be awesome to see what your thoughts are on it, or if you've like got anything to build off of it. Yeah, let me know. And then also, I'll just I'll be sure to like push updates on it as well. Yeah, it's gonna go through some changes. So I think the kind of interesting thing with this is, what more can we get out of the fact that it's in Unreal Engine, you know? And is this just crazy to have this running in Unreal Engine, or is it is it better? Stuff I'm kind of working out as I go along. I think this is, in theory, if it works out, this could end up being a really cool way to kind of queue up media, you know. And obviously it just, yeah, it's a very fair point for sure. Yeah, I think this would become like really heavy alongside Composure. It's not kind of more of a media input and output controller. It could be interesting to see how Composure runs alongside it, but it's yeah, an interesting one. Yeah, and you know, this is why people have like ATEM switches and stuff as a literal piece of hardware. Standalone program. I mean, maybe something like this could be packaged as an executable, and it could just take in the render targets and like decide what to do with them and put them out again. Could be something. Oh hey Chipko, I'm just gonna turn you down a second as it's echoing back. But obviously, do let me know if you want to chat. Don't want to mute you forever. Yeah, using MIDI to just launch the events. Yeah, it's quite a cool idea. Yeah, I think this is it. It's like, what is, even though I've sort of like gone down quite a deep route of making this, it's like, is there a benefit to having it running in Unreal? I'm not sure. But it's kind of working it out as we go along. I think maybe like triggering the animations and things could be cool. Oh, you're getting an echo now, are you?
Hello.
Hey, Brexit.
How are you guys?
Hey, yeah, good, thanks. How you doing?
Okay. I'm gonna show you something because I'm really close to finish. And
Cool.
I do have some question. It should be easy for you to give me the solution.
Yeah, cool.
So I got here, I got two feeds, the fill and the matte, because I tried inputting RGBA directly, and with ops, at least it wasn't really good. So I got the fill and the matte, right? And both of them, I received them here.
Yeah.
Is that how it should be done?
Yeah. That is. What are you doing to receive them there? What's the input? Spout input. Yeah.
Yeah, two spout input,
Yeah.
receiver, and
Yeah, that's fine actually.
my first question is how I can synchronize the fill and the matte, because actually they're not totally synchronized. So
okay, yeah, it might be better to not do it via spout then, actually, in that case. I'm assuming, yeah, if you have them as media players in Unreal Engine, then maybe on begin play you can set them to play at the same time. So,
okay, you think it will work better?
I think that would sync it. So if you create them as media players instead.
Okay, I will do that just right after. My second question is how I can basically
like combine them, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I can definitely show you that in this. So in the transform pass, for the overarching comp, like the main comp, if you go in the so go to the composure material. So open up that material. So you wanna take the media plate. So you want to create two new textures parameters. Yeah, and do call them like matte and fill or something, or whatever you want to call them. Yeah, nice. Cool. And then so is that going to be, you want your character to be going over the top of the whole CG, I guess, or yourself, your talent.
I want
behind some stuff, right?
The mix of it should be onto this.
Cool.
Which is basically the OWL pin.
Video plane. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So back in that material, you can take the, if you make another over node. Yeah. And you can put the alpha into the mask. So that, yeah, that's right. The alpha of the matte goes in the mask. And then, yeah, RGBA into one of those overs. And then put the over node you have that comes out. Sorry, the other over node, that needs to go into the B slot of the first over node. So the other way around. So maybe pull all those three to the front.
I'm not sure I understood what you mean.
Maybe if you go to the, you want to pull all of those three, like the matte, the fill, and the over, all of those to the front of the, like to the right. Yeah, pull them all to the right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then basically that over wants to go into the B slot.
B?
That goes into the emissive color. Yeah, and then the other over, yeah, put that into the B slot. Yeah.
Like this?
Yeah. So see what we've got now. It'll probably be what you got there. Oh, you need the RGBA from this fill. The fill that needs to be RGBA instead of RGB. Yeah.
Okay.
So see what you got now in your comp.
Like under targets for them?
The whole comp, the top one in the. If you go back to that composure tab and go in that, yeah, that one. Okay, so you need to set the inputs. So input elements down there. Got just where you were, where it says material. Where you have the material, underneath that you got input elements. Yeah.
Sorry.
Just need to. Oh, it looks like you don't have the. No, I think you might need to compile the material or save the material. Save. Okay, that hasn't added.
These CG elements, I disable them because they're meant to prevent the plane to have anti-aliasing. It's from a tutorial I found.
Okay. That's cool. Yeah, it's just that material. Those input elements should come up there. If you double click on that one again, and click on. Can you just right click and create a texture parameter 2D from scratch again? That might change it. So texture parameter 2D, yeah. And just call that matte and try plug it in again. And try and replace that with the one you already have.
Like this?
Yeah, and see if that's changed the material. See if it's come up now. Yeah, nice, cool. And you got the fill as well. That's cool. So if you set that fill and that matte to be, that's fill.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, still not getting the alpha. Okay, what we could try instead is go. You might have to use an append instead. So in here, instead of the matte going into that mask, so take that out of the mask. Yeah, and with the fill, from the fill, go from the RGB and pull out of that and write append. If you just pull out of that and click in the space and just type append vector. That one might work, yeah. And then do the alpha from the matte into the B, and then put that into the A of the over. So the A of the over node instead of that's right. Yeah. See what that does. Same thing, really. Can you double check your okay, it might need to be that you, instead of that append, there might be a different node. So can you type up append again and do append 4 vector?
4?
Yeah, 4. That's right. Okay, and then so the R, G, and B go into the A, B, and C.
Okay, from the field.
Yeah. And then the matte gives it the alpha channel, hopefully. And then put that in the over. See if that's changed anything. If you go to the really still the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, there is another way you can do it, which we can try. Definitely got this working before. Yeah. So
what?
if let me just think. Hold on, I'm just gonna get a project up where I've done the same thing and just double check it.
No problem.
You can also do it in the fill. In the fill, you can create a transform pass, and then the transform pass just for that fill, it can take this image and use that. So I'll see if, hold on. Cool. Oh yeah, but also in the meantime, yeah, if you want to sync them up, I think you should probably make material, what's it called, like media bundles for these two files. Because then you could press play and you could trigger a sequence which would trigger those media files, you know, on when you start the stream, and then they should be synced up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that right now.
Awesome. Oh, it's a different project.
Ça m'a déconnecté.
Oh, cool. For yeah, so for that it's under media.
Sorry, I was disconnected.
No worries.
Okay, so media.
So let me just jump back on. Yeah, so yeah, do media file source. Yeah, media file source.
So I do 2, right?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I've just remembered what might be wrong, by the way, because you don't have an alpha channel in that image. It's just a black and white image, isn't it? So
Yeah.
yeah, I think you grab the R channel instead of the A channel, and that should merge them together.
So I use Overnode.
Yeah, that's right, Tom. Yeah, same thing. Yeah. So do that append 4 vector, I think would be the one.
Or vector?
Yeah. I guess maybe append many just adds one. So the map, take the R and I think put that in the D because that would be the alpha channel, I'm pretty sure, and the RGB into there. Yeah. Okay, and then put that in there. See if that changes anything. Fire. Well, oh, do you need to enable those two CG elements? Like turn them on? Okay, nice. Yeah. So you're getting some alpha. inverted though, right? Is that the inverse of what you want?
Yeah.
Cool. So you can do an invert in the material, which you just do 1 minus, type 1 minus. I think it has to be 1 then minus instead of -1. Yeah, 1 minus. Yeah, and do that to that R channel. Nice. Oh, that's still not what you want, is it? Okay, so that was correct. So the mask was right, but the colors were just lost. Is that right?
Let me check. But it may be normal because I think, yeah, on this one it's okay. The colors are good because of the output.
Yeah.
I did open color IO pass, which I don't actually need. I mean, it's not done at all.
Yeah. So you can just disable it if you don't need it. You can tick the enabled box, maybe. Yeah, yeah, we'll do that. Okay, but that's actually change color.
Look, it's kind of like, I don't know what's happening. Anyway.
Yeah. That's got to be the layering in the material. It's got to be doing something weird. So can definitely fix that.
Oh, I know, because I don't want this. I want this to be on display.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. In that case, we should do it in the actual material then. So that whole append thing that you did, you could do that in a transform pass that you make in that first media plate material. So we can do that instead. So yeah, in transform passes here, you could create a new one. Yeah, there, and just create a new material there. So like if you just create one there. And I guess call this like media plate key or something. Nice. Okay, and then this needs to be a post-process material. Cool. And then set it to masked as well. You got output alpha. There's an output alpha. If you search output alpha and then tick it. Yeah. Cool. And then you got a mask there. So now you want to do 2 texture parameter 2Ds. Cool. And call this like matte, and you could call the other one pre-pass. So that just means it's taking the thing that's come before it. Cool. And then do that append, the same append thing. So yeah, R channel. Cool. Oh, actually, you don't need to do that. Sorry, you don't need to do that. You can go RGBA into emissive color from pre-pass. Yeah, and then just the R just goes into opacity. The R of the matte. Yeah. And then you don't need that append. Yeah, so that should literally do it. But you just need to set the inputs like before. So you can come out of the material, but apply it to that box. So yeah, back over there. In the media plate. No, we're not going to use that one now. So do it in the media plate. Yeah, and then add that material into there. So you got it selected. If you press the arrow next to it, or with it selected, you can press that arrow. That'll load it in. Cool. And then the input elements you need to set.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. So this has those same input element things. So transform pass 0, input elements. So under the material, it's got input elements. Yeah. Yeah. The bottom one is pre-pass, because that's the color, and then the top one is the matte. Cool. Okay. So you can see if you click it where the little O1 comp preview, like the preview window is, you could twirl down the like box, the like arrow on the other side, and you can see if it's got an alpha channel now. Okay. The alpha channel is just full. Okay.
Should I put the same material on this one also? No.
No, I don't think so. Oh, actually, if you make that a child of the other one, so like make the media plate, drag the second one into the first one, and then check those input elements again. Has that changed? Can you now select that as an input? Yeah, in the transform pass. Yeah. In that bottom transform pass, input elements. Can you click? Yeah, comp 2. Yeah. Okay, so check that alpha channel now. Nice, cool. So that's now referencing the black and white image from the other comp and just adding that into that layer. But that media plate can now be sent out to the plane, so you could do the render target output from that media plane.
Just one little question.
Yeah.
You see post-process pass here?
Yeah.
I did. Oh no, okay. Okay, I did make post-process for no aliasing, so I was guessing. Okay, so.
Well, so if you have a post-process material, you can add it onto the whole comp, so that will go over your talent and over your CG. So yeah, you can do that for sure.
No, I want to disable anti-aliasing onto the plane, not the scene needs aliasing, anti-aliasing. Anyway, so I create a render target.
Yeah.
Let's go. Which is, let's say, where I put them. Okay.
You got that RT plane already? Maybe use that one.
Yeah, I did some, but okay, cool. I can select one already existing.
Yeah, you can use that one for sure, because it will just update it, I think. RT plane. Yeah.
Oh.
Cool.
Which looks good now.
So that's now got your alpha. So that can go out to a material, and that will already be. I think if you set the material to be masked, then you can put that on the plane, and yeah, that'll be in the scene.
All right.
So, do you have a material that you've made from that render target?
I do.
Nice. Cool. And looks like that's got the mask already, right, with the alpha channel? Yeah. So that material should be able to go on your plane now.
Okay, wait. Back. Why I multiply alpha. Just to understand. Anyway. So this is masked, default it. Okay. Apply. Sorry. Screen. It's in overlay material. Yeah.
It might need to go on the mesh component instead. I'm not sure. So you got in the details panel, you got the screen. Sorry, the details panel for the plane. Yeah. So you got the hierarchy, you got screen, and then you got mesh component underneath.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Screen.
No, don't do that one. Do mesh. Pretty sure it's mesh component. So go up to the
okay.
yeah. Is there a material slot in there somewhere?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That one. Nice.
Yeah. Last question. I
Mm.
mean, it's a bundle. Sorry.
Yeah.
I made so I made a garbage mask there.
Cool. Yeah.
How can I use this to tell him, okay,
Mm.
I want a garbage around like this.
Yeah. So if you drag in, is it just one image?
Yeah.
Yeah, just flat image. So just drag it into Unreal. Cool. You can use that same material we made with the media plate. The yeah, in the composure. That's right.
This one.
Yeah.
Ça bug encore. Yeah. Okay. And now?
Cool. Now you can, if you drag that image in, yeah. So you can use a multiply. So take the, yeah, use multiply. You should be able to multiply these two together. So the two R channels of the masks.
Oh, I see. Ah, this is smart.
Yeah,
Okay.
should be. It's some combination of that. You might need to like invert one or something.
Yeah, let's see. Holy shit.
Nice. That's cool.
Holy shit. Okay.
Sick. Oh, really glad to get some progress for you. Just the only other thing would be just adding those media plates in, but yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, you know, playing the media at the right time.
I'm gonna do that right after. I just have one more question. So I tried
Yeah.
to bake because I want to stream 360,
Mm.
which, of course, if I want to stream 360, I need also to have a good optimization of the scene.
Yeah.
And my point with that is okay. My point with that is that when I tried to get rid of Lumen and use standalone ray trace depreciated, I end up having like all black inside the tower. So is it possible to use basically a mix of on one way only I mean lumen, but baking also the lighting from HDRI and stuff like that?
Interesting. I'm not too familiar, I'm afraid. I could look into it for sure. So you're saying you did like you did the build lighting kind of thing, and
yeah, I did. I created a light mass, which is
yeah.
I don't know. It's the first time I do that.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
I put everything in static,
Yeah.
and I just build using this. And then I deactivated at the end all ray tracing effects.
And that's where it all turned black, sort of thing, is it?
Yeah, but when this guy does it, you see, when this guy does it at the end, basically he's baking, right? And then he disable ray tracing. You see, ray tracing effect 0.
Okay.
All blah blah blah. And he got this, where in my case I don't get anything.
Right. Yeah, I'm not super familiar with that one, but I'm really down to look into it. It's really interesting. Yeah, I'll have to get back to you on that one, but it would be a really good way to do it for sure if you want to stream. It's a really good idea to bake that lighting. So, yeah, be a really good one to look into. Yeah, I'm not sure why it would all go black. Really, it's really strange.
Actually, it's okay. You did help me so much.
Nice.
Thanks a lot.
Oh, no worries. Yeah, glad to help.
The last thing is what I told you about. You know about the which bother me a lot, to be honest. It's about the how can I disable anti-aliasing only onto display?
So that's why you would use Composure for the output. So if you so if you click in your Composure tab and like preview that Composure output, what have you got? Okay, that's looking quite weird, isn't it?
It is because this is a bit shit actually. I can create.
So I guess
it will look shit because it's the 360 camera. I mean, it should look like this actually. Cam.
Right. Yeah, literally, this is like something we're working on, which is a much easier kind of workflow for this. But for Composure, for stopping ray tracing happening on Talent, essentially this Composure is the only way to do it at the moment. Where because Composure is laying the image of the Talent over the top of the whole image after the 3D is made, after the anti-aliasing. So that's why we've got that video plane placement to give the actual position of the Talent in the 3D space. But I'm not sure how it would work with 360, to be honest. I haven't
I have seen a bit actually. Yeah. I have watched a bit, and the only solution I found is, you know, with depth stencil layer, the tutorial from a guy, but I followed it actually. Plane, and my issue is that it seems he does this exactly for the same stuff as in a normal camera. Like he does a comp like this, and it's working on a CG element actually, which is
oh, nice. Yeah, I have seen this guy's tutorial before.
I did basically everything, but it doesn't look right. For me,
I didn't have loads of luck with this technique either. So I'm not sure. Because
I mean, this
is sort of what's led us to. Sorry, go ahead.
How does people do if they want to use a screen and render 360 video? No one does that. I'm the only one.
I'm sure I've managed to get a 360 cam with Composure before, but I haven't had much luck with it recently. Again, that's something I'll go away and double check and come back to you, I think, because as I say, I'm sure we've done it before, but I think also for live stream it's gonna be really performance heavy, so it's gonna be quite tricky.
Yeah. And I didn't try the DLSS 2.0, so maybe this will save me. But I can't think. I will try tomorrow.
It's worth a try. Definitely. And yeah, like we're definitely looking into like a kind of non-composure solution down the line, really, because it's just workflow. It's just really tricky. But yeah, again, I'm gonna have to look into it and get back to you on that one. But I'm pretty sure from looking at it before, 360 doesn't really work well with Composure, unfortunately.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. I'm gonna find solution because I have no choice other than making it work, honestly.
Yeah. I would say that guy's tutorial on bypassing the anti-aliasing is quite a good one. I know it's not. It's it's not actually fully bypassing it. I'm pretty sure, because that would take like a literal Unreal Engine rewrite to actually do that. But he's done some kind of trick that's looking correct on his machine. There is I'll just message someone else who's got quite a good list of console commands for making the plane look a bit better. If you can try that with 360. But yeah, also as Strict says, DLSS will definitely be your friend in this case as well, because yeah, that'll just help you get a load of frames back. So definitely give DLSS a go. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna try with it. Thanks a lot, mate.
Cool. No worries. Yeah, glad to get you some of the way there. Hopefully you figure it out. Keep us posted for sure.
Yeah, I should end this weekend. So
yeah,
one another, I will find a solution. But thanks a lot for DL, and
awesome.
And your solution is really nice. So thanks a lot for the work you're doing.
Thanks so much. Yeah, always good to see what people are making. So yeah, thanks for jumping in.
See you, mate. Thanks a lot again.
Yeah, cheers.
See ya.
Cool. Probably gonna wrap up this stream for this week. Thanks for tuning in. Really nice to see people hanging out. Yeah, thanks for checking out the project, Alejandro. Let me know what you think of it, and if you think anything needs adding to it, or things like that. Always good to hear your feedback as well. And yeah, we'll be doing this again next week.